Hi, I'm George Maestri, and there are many times in SketchUp when you'll need to make a mirror of an object. So let's take a look at some of the various ways to mirror or reflect an object or component. So here I have a simple component that is basically just some text. Now, if I want to mirror it, I will first have to duplicate it, and I can hold down Control, Move, and then I can just say move it down in the blue axis. Now, if I want to mirror this, I can use the scale tool. Now, the scale tool works in a couple of different ways. So, by default, using the scale tool, I can scale around the opposite point. So, here I can scale through the opposite point, which in this case is the bottom. So, I scale down and then around. And notice in the bottom right-hand corner how this snaps at -1. And when this is at -1, I have a mirror. So you can see if I snap that and move it into place, I have a very nice mirror. Now I'm going to go ahead and undo this. Now another way to use the scale tool is to hold down the control key. Now, typically the control key is used for duplicating objects. So if I were to hold down control and move or rotate, it would actually make copies of this. But not so with the scale tool. If I hold down control, notice how it goes from the bottom point here to the middle. So now I can reflect around that middle. And again, I reflect at -1. Another similar way to do that is to hold down Shift. Now, this will do a uniform scale around the opposite point. So when I hold down Shift, what it does is it actually scales it uniformly around that bottom point. And again, I can bring that into place and reflect it. I'm going to go ahead and undo this. And in addition to this, we can also just reflect or mirror things from a right-click menu. So if I were to right-click over this, you'll see that we have a flip along. So if I want to flip along the component's green axis, I can do that. And again, I get that reflection. Or I can do red, blue, and so on. And so this makes it very easy to create reflections. So we can reflect in a number of ways. We can scale reflection, and that's using either Shift or Control to manage exactly what axis or what point it reflects around. Or if we want to just do a simple flip, we can right-click over the object and do a flip along.